What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Angelina, and I'm coming to you today with my third video, and it's going to be based on my recent stay at the Hilton Hotel, as well as the third party that I booked through, which was Priceline. Now, if you haven't already subscribed, please feel free to do so today. I'm just getting started. I'm brand new to the YouTube family, and I only have 2 previous videos, which was based on my experience with Kylie Cosmetics and a follow-up to that video. So if you haven't already, feel free to watch those 2 videos. And as I had mentioned in those previous videos, I am new, which I just said that to you all already, but I do plan on getting a better camera. I know right now I'm currently using my iPad, so I will be getting a better camera eventually, and I have lots of makeup, so I'll be doing a lot of reviews on makeup, what's hot, what's not, and I'll be doing a lot of giveaways as well once I get my subscribers up. So please, again, feel free to subscribe to my channel. I greatly appreciate the love. So as I mentioned before, I'm going to do a review for you guys based on my experience recently with the Hilton Hotel. Now, I just wanted to get into this because, first of all, I'd never stayed at the Hilton Hotel. I've stayed at many hotels and whatnot, you know, while being on vacation or just going away for a weekend, but I'd never stayed at the Hilton before. And so not only was it my first time staying at the Hilton Hotel, it was my very first time booking through a third party. Normally when we stay at a hotel or we go anywhere, I always just book it online or I'll call the hotel directly. But this time I just ended up getting it through a third party. It was like a deal they were having at the time. I was looking through my phone for just a hotel in the area of where we were going to be. And therefore I went ahead and just said, hey, why not? I'll go ahead and book it through Priceline. Now I do have to let you know, beware when you book through a third party. They're really strict with their cancellation. Like once you book it, you can't cancel it. Like it charges your card right away and you can't cancel it. And I'm pretty sure there's some more details in fine print that you have to read upon booking your hotel through the third party. But for certain, the one at the top of the list is that you can't get a refund. And I know that when you book directly with a hotel or book it online and you reserve it with your card, it's not actually charged till you get there. And you do have the ability to cancel it like up until I think the day of or the day before, something like that. I think each hotel is different. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. And so basically getting right into this, me and my boyfriend and my kids, we went on vacation. And our family all lives in California. So we had went back home to go visit and stay there for 2 weeks. And during that time, we decided that we wanted to go to Knott's Berry Farm. Because last time that we were on vacation, we ended up going to Disneyland. So this time we're like, okay, we're going to go to Knott's Berry Farm. So we had our tickets, and we were going to be going on a Tuesday. And if you know California and you know LA, then you know traffic is, it's crazy. It's LA, and the traffic on the freeway is just a mess in the mornings. People traveling to work. It's just a nightmare. And I didn't want to deal with that, so I told my boyfriend, why don't we just get a hotel? That way we can just already be there with the kids. You guys can sleep in. You don't have to worry about getting up at 5 in the morning for us to get on the freeway. And then, you know, just let's get a hotel. So I went online and I found on Priceline a pretty decent deal for a stay at the Hilton. And I saw that they had a pool for the kids, and I thought that'd be really cool. We can probably head down there, you know, in the late afternoon because check-in time is like 3 o'clock. So I said we can head down there in the late afternoon, and the pool's open till 10 o'clock at night. It's in the dead of summer. It's in July that we were there. And this will give the kids the opportunity to go ahead and enjoy swimming, and, you know, that way we're having fun. So we went ahead and we headed out to the hotel, and we got there. And one of the things which I knew before I arrived, but not before I actually booked the hotel, is that you're responsible to pay for your own parking. Yes, and this is at every Hilton, because I actually researched this after I stayed there and after I had the situation, which I will be getting into shortly. So I called the hotel and I asked, like, do you have to pay for parking? And they're like, yeah, valet is like, I think $20 or something like that, and then there's self parking. And I was like, okay, you know, whatever. We're on vacation, so no big deal. And we were like right next to Disneyland. And even though we were going to Knott's Berry Farm, they didn't have a Hilton by Knott's Berry Farm. This was like the closest one, so that's why we chose to stay at this one. And so therefore we were right next door to Disneyland. So you can only imagine like the traffic and how many people are coming in and out of there, because there's tourists, there's all kinds of people on vacation. It's in summer, so it was packed. So we got there, we decided to valet park, and we get off the car and we have our luggage, and it's me, my boyfriend, and our 3 children. So we get off the car and we go inside to check in. And as I'm checking in, I give them my card and they tell me, okay, you know, we have your reservation, but we need to apply a $50 hold on your card. It's just like, you know, so if you valet park, then we just take it from that and we give you a refund. Or if you eat in the hotel, or if there's any other spending that you do, then we take it from the deposit, and so forth and so on. So I'm like, okay, no problem. So they go ahead, they get us all checked in. We're good to go. We get our keys, and mind you, this hotel is pretty huge. We were at this time, I believe it was on the 15th floor. So we had to take the elevator. Upon arriving to the 15th floor, we then had to circle around in a maze to try to find our room, because it's crazy when you get off the elevator. There's like different hallways that you can go to, and so you're just kind of trying to look around for the number of where your actual room is at. So did all that, finally found our room. We get in the room, we find out that the pool is on the 5th floor. So the kids are just excited, they're ready to get into their swim stuff and go swimming. So we get in the room, I'm wearing sandals, boyfriend sits on the bed, he's got on sneakers. Kids, I think they had sandals. My son, I know my oldest son had on sandals. So I take off my sandals, and the first thing, I'm on the carpet, I feel it's wet. And I'm like, the carpet is wet. And so my son takes off his sandals and he's like, oh yeah, it's kind of wet. Yeah, it's weird. So it's not like soaking wet, like, you know, it's just wet like when you shampoo your carpet and you know that it's not fully dry yet and you need to stay off of it maybe a few more hours because it's still kind of damp. It was that kind of wet, and it was like all over. It wasn't just like in one area, it was the entire carpeting in the room. So I call up to the front desk and I said, hey, I was just giving you guys a call because our room carpet is wet. And they were like, oh, I'm so sorry. We'll go ahead and get you changed out of your room right away. We'll go ahead and have someone, you know, switch you out of your room. We're going to put you. And so they're telling me, they're like looking it up in the computer, I'm assuming, to see which room they have available with, you know, 2 beds. And so like, okay, we're going to move you on the 6th floor. I'm like, okay, great. We'll be like a floor up from where the pool is at. No problem. So when we had finally got there and checked in, it was about 7:30, I want to say. And so by this time we're in the room, it's like 7:45. So at this point, I had hung up the phone and I'm like, okay, they're going to come switch us out and, you know, we're going to get a new room. So kids are still waiting, and it's 8 o'clock now and nobody's come yet. And I'm like, okay. So I call back down and they're like, oh yeah, we're so sorry. We're still trying to get somebody. We're waiting for them to get back to us. We called and, you know, they're trying to find somebody to come switch you out of your room. And I'm like, okay. And so, yeah, we're working on it. And I'm like, all right, well, is there any way I can speak to whomever it is that you're speaking to kind of figure out maybe how long? Because my kids are really eager to go swimming. And the pool closes at 10. And so, you know, like, I don't want to have to keep them from being able to enjoy their stay here because of this mishap. So if there's any way you can get me in contact with whoever can kind of let me know what's going on. Yeah, no problem. I'll go ahead and transfer you. So they transfer me down to where, I want to say, I guess it's like concierge, just where the they send the people out to help you with your luggage, like the bellboys and stuff like that. So they send me there, and it's a lady, and she answers, and she's like, yeah, we're trying to find somebody. There's no ETA right now. And I'm like, okay. Yeah, everybody's busy, and they're helping the guests with their bags. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. I'm a guest too. And so I'm thinking, why am I any different? Because I'm not out in the front needing my bags to be brought to my room. I mean, I have a situation, so somebody should be able to get somebody. Like, come on. So hang up the phone, and I'm waiting, and by this point, it's like already like 8:20 now. And I'm like, okay, you know what? We're pushing it. Like, it's about to be 8:30. Like, that gives the kids like an hour and a half. Like, if that, because we still have to move our rooms. We're on the 15th floor. Still have to go to the 6th floor. Like, this is crazy. Call back again, because still by this point, nobody has called. Nobody has come to the door. And we're still in the room with the wet carpet. So get the lady, same lady. Yeah, ma'am, we're still trying to find somebody, and right now we don't have anybody because they're all helping guests with their bags. Okay, can I speak with the manager, please? Like, I'm sorry, but this is just unacceptable. Like, we checked in here at 7:30. We got into our room at 7:45. The carpet is wet. It is now 8:30, and you still don't have anybody to take us out of our room. And then she was like, well, you could just come down and get the keys, you know, yourself if you wanted. I'm like, okay, well, I'm not about to go back down. I'm already on the 15th floor. Then I've got to move to the 6th floor. I'm not about to go all the way back down, come all the way back up, then move my family. Like, no, like, you need to just have somebody come, give us the keys, and then we can go to our new room. Like, I don't see what the problem is. This is the Hilton, not Motel 6. Although at this point I felt like I was staying at Motel 6. So at this point, she gets the manager for me, and he was really nice. And he's like, oh, I'm so sorry. We'll go ahead and we will have somebody come right now. Okay, so they send the guy, and he comes, and he only comes with 2 keys instead of 3. We're supposed to have 3 keys because my 17-year-old was with us. Whatever. So they end up sending him up, and at that point, I had already told my son, like, just take the 2 little ones, go to the pool, and then once we move and get settled, we'll go ahead and come and get you guys. So no problem. They went to the pool. 5 minutes later, the guy arrives. He's like, okay, here's your keys. Gives us 2 keys, and we're basically there to have to move our own stuff. Whatever. I don't care. But mind you, now that we have 3 less people, it's just me and my boyfriend having to move mine and his and 3 kids' luggage. So we get our keys, we get all our bags, we're out of the door. My boyfriend has some kind of drink, a Mountain Dew red punch, in his hand, and he's trying to juggle that while carrying the bags, and ends up dropping it on the floor, and it explodes everywhere, and it lands on my new travel bag, which I was highly upset about. Not his fault, but mind you, had this situation not occurred, then my bag wouldn't have been ruined. So this is my new bag that I just got when I went on vacation, and these are the stains from the Mountain Dew spilling all over it. So you can imagine that I was very unhappy about that, and these stains are probably not going to come out. So that bag is pretty much done for. So pick up the drink, finish getting our stuff together, finally make it to the elevator, go to our room, we're there, we get in, okay, fine. We're like starving at this point. We're like, let's go down to the pool, let's let the kids know exactly where we're at, let's figure out what we're doing next. So get my son, get my other son and my daughter, end up coming back to the room, they change real quick, and then we end up going out to dinner. So then we come back, and I say to them, let's have you guys take your showers now. That way in the morning, you don't have to worry about getting up extra early. We'll just get it all out of the way. So my youngest was the first one to go. So I go and I run the water to make a shower. And now, if you ever stay like in a hotel, motel, whatever, and they have in the tub, they're metal. It's like a piece to unclog the water if you want to drain it. If you've taken a bath and you just screw it down and it locks in, but it doesn't detach from the actual metal part. It's all just connected. So I go over to the piece because it was like down, like it was locked. And since my son wasn't going to take a bath, he was going to take a shower, I like unscrewed it. And while I unscrewed it, instead of it like staying attached and just opening up the drain, it ended up coming apart completely. Like it just fell off, like it was just really cheap. And I'm like, okay, whatever. He's not taking a bath anyways. What do I care? So I go and put it to the side. I start running the shower, and I notice that the water is not draining. It's like filling up in the tub. Not a lot, but it's like filling up, like, you know, when your tub is kind of clogged, and so therefore the water, it's draining, but it's a slow process, so it's actually kind of filling up in the tub a little bit. That's what was happening. I'm like, okay, whatever. At this point, it's already late. It's after 10. I'm pretty much done. We're leaving the next day anyways because we're going to Knott's Berry Farm, and we're only going to stay there one night, so whatever. So then I come out of the room. Mind you, we had not brought no food to the room. We had not brought any candy. My kids didn't have any candy, nothing. Come out of the room, and there is a piece of M&M stuck in the carpet, like somebody like stepped on it. I don't know. And I'm thinking at this point, like, okay, first we get the wet carpet in the first room. Then we come here and the water doesn't drain out of the tub. Now we got an M&M on the floor that, I mean, maybe that's not a big deal to some people. Maybe I'm overreacting. But this is the Hilton, and this was our first visit, and I was just a little surprised on how the situation played out, even to the point where I had to make like 3 to 4 phone calls before they actually switched us out of the room with the wet carpet to get us to a room with a dry carpet. So I was just really disappointed with that whole situation. I said, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and deal with this. Once we're back from vacation, once we're done with Knott's Berry Farm, I'll call corporate. I'll just let them know about my experience. And I mean, because it's not cool. We spent money in the hotel, me and my daughter. We ended up going to the buffet, which I want to say was like 30 something dollars. I think for mine, I don't even remember what hers was. But altogether, I know that after we checked out, the charges, so it was my $50 deposit, which I didn't get back because they took what we spent for valet parking, which was $20. And then they took the buffet when me and my daughter went to eat. And then there was some extra charges outside of that because what I had from the 50 obviously didn't cover all of the buffet. So it ended up coming out to like $82 in charges on top of the hotel stay, which, whatever, it's not a big deal. I just kind of felt like, considering the situation and the circumstances and everything, like it kind of ruined our plan for the kids to like go swimming as long as they had wanted to and all of that, because we were dealing with the room situation and the carpet and whatever. So I felt like their swim got cut short, and we ended up having to go eat. And by the time we did all that, it was already late and the pool was closed anyways when we got back. So I just felt like kind of cheated, and I felt like I would have rather had a better experience, and I would have rather my kids had, you know, more fun and had a longer time to swim than what they actually did. So I just kind of was upset. I felt like maybe they should have at least gave us some kind of compensation, whether it was, you know, a free meal or even a discount next time to bring us back. But honestly, they didn't really care. And so therefore I was kind of like, okay, well, I'll just go ahead, I'll call corporate, and I'll just go from there. And so I did just that. Like 2 days later, I called the corporate office and I went ahead and said, hey, you know, I was a guest in your hotel a few days ago and I just wanted to go ahead and address my visit and make a complaint. And so I told them everything that had happened. And they were like, okay, well, we've got your claim here and we have a claim number for you. And we'll go ahead and give that to you. And we just want to go ahead and let you know the policy, which is that in corporate, we reach out to the hotel directly where you stayed, and that hotel has 72 hours to respond and get back to you regarding the situation to address it. And I said, okay. And so this was on a Wednesday. So the 72 hours would have been up on a Friday. Friday comes and I don't have an email. I don't have a phone call. I have no follow-up whatsoever regarding my claim. So I'm like, well, I'm just going to give it, you know, the weekend, and then Monday they'll probably get back to me by then. Well, Monday came and no email and no phone call and no follow-up response, nothing at all. So at this point I'm like, okay, I'm pretty ticked off. I pick up the phone, I call back the number, I have my claim, I give it to them. A lady answers. She's like, I'm so sorry. There's been no response. And I said, what do you mean? Yeah, we reached out to the Hilton where you stayed and they haven't responded to your complaint. Like, are you serious? Okay, so 72 hours is what their turnaround time is to get back to, I guess, either corporate or follow up with corporate, then the customer. I don't know how it works, but 72 hours. Not only did they not follow up with me, they didn't even follow up with their own corporate office. It's like it literally fell on deaf ears. So they then transferred me to the president's line, which is where I initially filed my complaint. I guess that's like the highest you can go in the corporate office. And I got a really nice gentleman. And at this point I was heated. I'm like, look, I know it's not your problem. I know it's not your fault. But listen, like, it's been well over the 72 hours. Nobody's responded. I then find out from the previous agent that they haven't even responded back to you guys regarding my complaint. Like, that's just unacceptable. And this is the level of service you give to your guests. So he's like, I'm so sorry, I'm going to go ahead and take care of you. So then he's like, I'm going to refund you back for the charges, and then I'm going to go ahead and comp you a night free stay, be our guest anytime, and I will send those to you in the mail. And then he's like, did you pay the hotel directly for your stay? And I was like, no, I actually booked it through a third party, and that was Priceline. Okay, well, unfortunately, since you didn't pay the Hilton directly, I cannot refund you for your stay. However, you may want to call Priceline directly. Call the third party and see about getting your money back. Okay, great. No problem. I didn't know I could do that. Because again, on the policy for the third party Priceline, it specifically says like there's no refunds, no cancellation and whatnot. So he's telling me to give him a call, and I'm like, what do I have to lose at this point? He took all my information. He said within 10 days I'll get the vouchers for the hotel stay, and then they were going to process a refund for me to get back the additional charges that I did pay directly to the Hilton, and those would get refunded back to me. He'd follow up by email once they let him know when I could get the refund back to my card. So I then go ahead and I call over to Priceline at this point. And I get a really nice guy, and he says, all I need to do, ma'am, I'm so sorry about your stay and what happened. All I need to do is verify that they have this on file, and that way I can go ahead and give you a refund. And I was like, oh, okay, like it's going to be that easy. Which in a perfect world, it would have been. But y'all know, we don't live in a perfect world. So here's where it gets real. Calls back to the corporate office. We're on three-way. Calls back to the very same guy who just told me to call the third party and ask for the refund. And he says, oh, no, I can't do anything. You have to call to the hotel directly. The same hotel, same hotel that failed to follow up with me, the customer, and you, the corporate office. And now you're telling Priceline they need to call them in order for me to get a refund? Like, seriously. Yeah, I can't do anything about it. They have to speak with the hotel directly. Okay, fine. So, hang up with him. Nice guy from Priceline. Sweet gentleman. Says, don't worry, Miss Rios. I left message already with the hotel directly, and I promise we will give you a call back. I promise we will get back to you as soon as we hear from them. Okay. A week goes by, and then 2 weeks, and we're back in Washington at this point, off vacation. And I still hadn't heard anything back from Priceline. So I called Priceline back, and I gave them my claim number, and I get a lady this time, and she says, oh, yeah, the Hilton hasn't responded to us. Why am I not surprised at this point? Not only did they not respond to the corporate office when I first filed my complaint, they didn't even bother to follow up with me. Why should I expect any different when this third party reached out to them? I'm so sorry, but yeah, they never got back to us. Let me see what's going on. So the lady puts me on hold. She calls over there. She finally gets a guy. I don't know if he's manager or who he is, but she speaks to some guy, and he says to her, well, there's nothing on file here. And so she comes back to me, and I said, well, I filed the complaint. I have a claim number. I filed it with corporate, and corporate said we needed to call directly to the hotel because they need to let you know that it's okay so you can refund me, because I've already been refunded for all my other charges from the hotel. But since I didn't pay directly to the hotel for my stay, that I had to go through you, the third party. Oh, don't worry, ma'am. Let me go ahead and speak to him. Comes back to me. He says that you have to call the corporate office because they can't do anything since you already filed a claim with corporate. I literally lost it. I said, listen, 2 weeks ago, when I spoke with the gentleman from Priceline, we called corporate office on three-way together. And the gentleman who we spoke to specifically said, I can't do anything. We can't do anything in corporate. You need to call directly to the hotel, which is what we're doing right now. I'm not going to call corporate again, and I'm not going to lose you and have to call back and speak to a different person and explain myself all over again. So just stay right there. Call my daughter to the room. I need your cell phone. Excuse me. So she gives me her cell phone. I call directly to the Hilton myself. I need to speak to the manager right now. after getting the runaround for like, I don't know, a good 5 minutes, finally get the manager. I'm assuming he's the manager of the hotel. Very nice gentleman. I'm so sorry, ma'am, for everything that you went through. I'm going to go ahead and take care of this. Yes, right away. I have the lady on the other phone. Okay, I just need to speak with him directly. If he gives me the green light, I can refund you back. She gets his number, gets his name. I still have him on the phone. His line rings. He puts me on hold. He goes and gets it. It's all done. After 2 weeks of dealing with this mess and going back and forth with the Hilton, I was finally able to get it resolved. I finally got my entire refund back, which I was very excited because I didn't think that was going to be possible to even do, considering that I did book it through a third party. But I want to say this, my experience with Priceline, 100% perfect. They were fantastic. They were great. They didn't give me an attitude. There was no issue. Every single agent that I spoke with, which I spoke with two agents from Priceline, very, very nice. You could just tell that the customer service there was just A1. Now the Hilton, on the other hand, I don't recommend staying at that Hilton. The Hilton Hotel that is right next door to Disneyland, there's only one. I highly recommend, if you are in town, choose another hotel. I would not stay there, because if you do happen to have a problem, more than likely you're going to have to jump through hoops like I did just to get some kind of recognition, some kind of resolution, whatever it is that you're looking for. Now, I will say this. They did, when I got back from vacation, send me these Be My Guest certificates, which I'm really excited about because we are going out of town this weekend and we will be using them. So I will be staying this time though at the DoubleTree, which is by Hilton. But I will probably do a follow-up video just to let you know how that visit went, because I'm pretty excited about this. I've never stayed at the DoubleTree before, and I'm definitely hoping that this is going to be better than my stay at the Hilton. So that's all for today. Again, if you haven't already, please subscribe. Trying to get my subscribers up, and in the near future, if I get enough subscribers, I will be doing some giveaways for makeup. Talk to y'all later.